Hey!
With the dining room basically finished, I feel like I'm lacking a little bit of greenery in the room. So I asked ChatGPT to help me. We'll guide you through how to set up a vertical monitor in Windows 11. If you find this guide useful, then please consider subscribing and liking the video. Firstly, you want to go and make your monitor or rotate it into the vertical position. And then after you've done that, there's then a simple setting we can go and change in our Windows settings for it then to go and be sort of in the right orientation in Windows itself. So rotate your monitor, and then what you need to do is right click on your desktop and go and click on display settings, or alternatively tap on search at the bottom and then type in display settings like that. Once it opens, go and select the monitor, which is vertical. So in this case, it's my monitor 1. Then all you need to do is scroll down like this until you get to scale and layout, and you can then click on display orientation. At the moment, it's set to landscape, but what we can do is go and change it to portrait. As you can see, we have got portrait flipped and portrait. So it's going to depend which way you've sort of rotated your monitor, if you know what I mean, because in theory, there are 2 different ways you can have it. So if it doesn't look right or it's upside down, then you can always use portrait flipped. In this case, I'm going to start with portrait, and then just like that, it will take a moment for everything to change. And my monitor has now gone vertical. And if you're happy with it, click on Keep Changes. We'll guide you through how to set up a vertical monitor. If you find this useful, then consider subscribing and liking the video. Depending on what type of work you do, a vertical monitor can be really convenient, especially for long documents. So to get started, let's connect it to our computer. Come to the back, and what you want to do is go and plug the cable in. If you have a graphics card, make sure they're both plugged in there. Then of course, come to the back of the monitor and we can go and plug it in. Turn it on and make sure you select the correct source, and it should then be displaying. But as you can see, it's sideways. So come onto your computer, right-click on your desktop and press Display Settings. Choose the display, which is this one here. Scroll down to Display Orientation and click there. Click on Landscape and you want to go and use Portrait or Portrait Flipped. If it's incorrect, click Revert. If it's correct, press Keep Changes. That's it, we've successfully set it up. Leave a like if you found this useful.
Fiverr brought a new generation of AI directors to its platform.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to reveal the best AI tools for creating YouTube videos. Tools to transform your YouTube studio into anything you can possibly imagine, so you can change your entire setup. Tools that will literally edit your videos.
What if I told you you can now generate a 5 to 10 minute video using AI with your phone, and the app is free? Today I'll be teaching you how to actually work with this app to generate your videos and images for free. And again, your videos will actually be up to from 1 minute to 5 minutes long, 10 minutes long, 20 minutes long, depending on how you use it. So I've seen a lot of people advertising this app, and they talk about it on laptop. Today I want to teach you how to use it on your phone and get these very long videos for your African folktales or whatever videos you're doing with AI. And the app is actually free, absolutely free. So I'll be walking you through this app step by step. Do not forget to subscribe, do not forget to share, and do not forget to comment in the comment section the next AI kind of video you want me to teach you on how to create. My name is Wokobuchi. Let's go. Okay guys, so before you start creating your long videos, this is actually my ChatGPT, okay? And on ChatGPT, I already prompted for my story, because today the goal is to teach you how to generate your long videos, not the story. But I'll walk you through the story before we go generate the videos. So at this point, I actually said I wanted ChatGPT to give me a story about a village girl who refused the rituals, okay? And I asked for part 1 to 4. So ChatGPT actually gave me the part 1 to part 4, because I was using it for a series. Now I actually got here, this is the part 4 that I'm generating now, and I said give me image prompt for each scene with consistent character for part 4. Okay, I already have the image. I generated the images already, so I'll save them now, one after each. So you see, generate image 2 for me, generate image 3. So this is what I did. This is just to walk you through, for those of you who are new here, in case you want to just go through this and get your story as well, or you don't know how to get story. But yeah, I already gave you a clue on how to get your story. So I actually got all my stories, my images. So after these images, again, let me remind you, I asked for ChatGPT to give me a story about a village girl who refused the rituals. Okay? And I asked you to elaborate the story. Sorry, ChatGPT. Now they elaborated the story for me, and they gave me the story. Then I generated the images. Now, this is me here. After I generated my images, I said, give me dialogue script with motion prompts for each scene from part 4. Remind you, I already done part 1 to 3. Okay? So they gave me the dialogue script. So this is here. We have the dialogue script, but this is where we start generating our longer videos. All right. So at this point, I have motion. It starts with motion, then dialogue. So this is the dialogue script. Now it says here the warning. At this point, I'll come here and I'll copy the first motion prompt. I'll copy the motion prompt, then I copy 2 scenes from the dialogue. So you can actually see old woman and then Amina. Okay? So I copied 2 scenes from the talking script because I don't want it to be too long. And if you make your characters talk for too long, it will actually trip. You know it's AI. So I'll copy this first. Once I copy this, the tool I'll be taking you to is Grok. You all know Grok has updated and people tell you, oh, it's only on laptop. No, you can do it on your phone as well. Now I'm going to Grok. So for those of you who are actually new on Grok, what you do is, if your Grok does not have this feature, please uninstall your Grok and install it back. Because yes, these features are new and they're giving it even on phone. You don't need to do it only on laptop, okay? So now here where I clicked on Imagine, and Imagine brought me here. So we actually were on this page, a quiet page. I know you people ask me, how did you click where? Now click up here on Imagine. Once you click on Imagine, it brings you here to the dashboard. Now when you come down to the dashboard, click down here where you see a photo icon, click on it, and then click on Animate Photo. When you click on Animate Photo, you bring in the first image, then you click on, bring it in. Now it comes in here. Now the next thing you're supposed to do is to put in that your prompt, put in the prompt, okay? Which means I added the motion prompt before the dialogue prompt, okay? So here we have old lady, then we have Amina. Beside Amina, I'll actually identify that Amina is the girl because there are 2 ladies and AI sometimes goes gaga. So yeah, I've already identified that Amina is the girl. Then I'll click on Generate. Now you wait for this image to generate and then you move to the next step on adding this video. Now you do not need to generate these videos 5 seconds anymore. No, you don't generate them 5 seconds or 6 seconds. I'll show you what to do. Now let's go back to ChatGPT and copy the rest of the chat, this one. So I'm coming down here and I'll copy the remaining of what is left for this particular scene 1, okay? Because I'm using image 1 for scene 1, image 2 for scene 2, image 3 for scene 3, for those of you who do not know. Now at this point, I'll click here on copy. I'll copy that. And this is scene 2. So scene 2 have their own image and we'll come back and take scene 2 image and then do it the same way. So now I'll go back to Grok and I'll check if the video has generated.
Amina, tonight the village will come for you. I am not afraid anymore.
Okay. So you see that? Now we are
Amina.
Now at this point, what you need to do is you click on the 3 buttons by the side, the 3 dots by the left side, below the left side. You click on it. Once you click on it, you can see extend. You click on extend. Now when you click on extend, what you need to do is you put in your video. So now once you click on extend video, you now paste the second line of your text, okay, of your dialogue script. Please let me know you understand this. So I brought in the second section, which is old woman here, the old woman, then lighting flash, then the old woman again, which means it's only the old woman who talks at this particular point, okay? Amina is not talking. Then I click again on generate again. Click again on generate. And it's now going to 12 seconds. So from 6 seconds, it's going to 12 seconds, okay? Now what you need to do is, at this point, you go back to your ChatGPT. Now the second one, this is the second motion prompt. And if you want, you can check out the image number 1 and image number 2. If they rhyme and the scenes are the same, then you use the same image. No need to want to change images, okay? But if they don't, then you change the image. So at this point, we had Amina and Grandma. Then we had warriors coming in for Amina. So what I'll do is I'll go back. We'll go back to Grok and check out if that video is ready.
Meet Loom by Atlassian. Teams record and share videos with Loom to move work forward with fewer meetings.
Amina, tonight the village will come for you. I am not afraid anymore. You should be. They fear what you are becoming.
So you guys see that, right? It added. The video has actually added. Now, if your scene is just a one picture scene, all you need to do is click here again, extend, click again on extend, add the next dialogue script until if you are using one image for the whole of your video, which means maybe your video just have one image and it's the image that have to do the whole of that video. Just click here on extend, add your dialogue, click on extend, add your dialogue, click on extend, add your dialogue. It will go to like 60 seconds 1 minute, 2 minutes. You just be adding and adding, extending 6 seconds till it gets long. Then you click here on save. Okay, tonight you've saved your video up to like 1 minute 30 seconds or 2 minutes, depending on how long you did this video. Now what I'll do is I'll go back for those of you that have different scenes inside your movie or inside your story. Now I'll go back. We are going back to ChatGPT, and this is image 2. So we already know image 2. We are going now to the dialogue section, and then we are taking motion prompts and 2 scenes again inside the second scene. Then we go back to Grok AI. Once you get to Grok AI, you exit this particular image, and then you bring in the image for image 2, which means tap down here, animate photo. Then you bring in the second image. Okay, so this second image 2, you animate the
Right now, millions of creators are using AI video generators, but very few of them are actually using the best one for their specific situation. And as more and more models keep coming out, the confusion only gets worse. That's why today I'm putting the 5 most popular AI video generators to the test. So by the end of this, you'll see the real differences for yourself and know exactly which model fits your content best. But before we get into the actual breakdown, there's one thing I want to clarify. I've seen multiple videos online with people comparing AI models between them. But the biggest problem I see with that is that they use different inputs for each generator to glorify one or another. And as you already know, this is not fair. That's why in this video, I'm going to be completely transparent, and I'll use the same exact prompts and image references for all the AI models. In this way, we can see how Seedance 2.0, Kling 3.0, Veo 3.1, Grok Imagine, and Wan 2.7 perform under the same conditions, but in 4 different rounds. For this, I'll be using Higgsfield to access them all from the same platform. So let's get straight into it with one of the most difficult rounds, physics. This matters a lot because once it's generated, it's impossible to change. You see, there are many aspects in a video that can be changed in post-production. You can adjust the lighting, the colors, and the B-rolls, but what you can't change is how things move inside the video. So if your character has a weird body movement, there's no way to change that but to regenerate the entire video and hope it's not happening again. That's why physics is such an important aspect of AI videos. So let's test each model with this universal prompt. We're looking for 4 things: whether the body movement looks natural, if the man removes his shirt in a normal manner, and how he jumps into the water along with the splash. I'm going to select Seedance 2.0 as the model, set the duration to 15 seconds and the resolution to 720p. Here's the result we get back. The man doesn't sprint in the right direction I wanted, but the moment he hits the water, the physics are perfect. The entry is super clean and the splash looks smooth. In my opinion, this is a near perfect result, so it'll get a solid 9.5 out of 10. Then for Kling 3.0, I'll keep the same settings and click generate. I really like the slow motion it added right before the splash moment. Besides that, the underwater scene is really clean, but it looked a bit weird when he removed his shirt, so I'll subtract a point for that. Instead of tearing it off naturally, the character kind of shrugs it away before the dive. That's why it'll get a 9 out of 10. Next is Google Veo 3.1. Let's take a look at the video it generated. This time, the shirt doesn't come off properly, and it kind of looked like he was floating in the air a bit right before hitting the water. But everything feels cinematic. I'll give it an 8.5. Now let's change the video model to Grok. I'm really curious how this would turn out, so I'll paste in the universal prompt alongside the reference image and generate.
Here we go!
The water splash is solid and the camera work holds up, but the clothing physics are completely off throughout the clip. I don't really understand what happened, but the shirt morphs a bit before disappearing completely. But because this is the only problem, it gets a solid 8 out of 10. So now let's see what the newest AI model, WAN 2.7, is capable of when it comes to physics. Well, both the shirt removal and the water splash were off. The shirt just disappears instead of being torn off naturally, and the water entry is more like a cut than an actual splash. Every other model got at least one of the two right, so I must give it a 5 out of 10. So round 1 goes to Seedance 2.0. But physics is not the only important part when it comes to video generation. There's actually one category I honestly think matters more, especially if you're trying to create short films with AI. And I'm not talking about the visual quality. It's something that people don't usually pay attention to, even though it's crucial for every model. And that's the audio, and more exactly, the lip sync. So most AI generators are getting better and better at visual quality every month. But when it comes to the audio, that's a completely different story. People don't really care about this aspect at first. But if a model has poor audio, it doesn't just get a low score. It means you can't use it for any content that involves someone speaking on camera. So in other words, you can't create short films, no character videos, or anything with dialogue. So let's use this prompt to see which model performs the best. And the things we care about are the lip sync, the voice clarity, and the overall sound quality. So again, I'll start with Seedance 2.0, set its duration to 15 seconds, and the resolution to 720p. Now let's see the result.
It's nice out here. You don't really get moments like this in the city. I could just sit here for hours, honestly.
Wow, this is honestly impressive. The first thing I noticed was the perfect lip sync. You can actually see how his lips are moving with every word. Then I noticed the seaside noise in the background that makes everything feel natural. This gets a solid 9.5, but let's see what Kling 3.0 can do with this.
It's nice out here. You don't really get moments like this in the city. I could just sit here for hours, honestly.
The result is really similar to Seedance. The voice is clear, and the delivery sounds natural from start to finish. Honestly, these two are right next to each other, so it also gets a 9.5 out of 10. Now let me change the AI model to Google Veo 3.1 and paste in the same prompt.
It's nice out here. You don't really get moments like this in the city.
I think this is a straight 10. Even though it is limited to 8 seconds long, Veo did an amazing job with the sound. Besides that clear American voice, you can also hear the fire sound from the background. I don't think Grok is going to beat this one, but let's give it a try.
It's nice out here. You don't really get moments like this in the city. I could just sit here for hours, honestly.
Honestly, the voice sounds a bit robotic and is cutting out. It also misspells a few words here and there, so if you're trying to make speaking content, you should definitely avoid Grok. I'll give it a 3 out of 10. But now let's see what WAN 2.7 can do.
It's nice out here. You don't really get moments like this in the city. I could just sit here for hours, honestly.
Alright, this is actually worse than Grok. The voice is almost completely absent throughout the clip, and when it
This is a very impressive thing with an easy, quick workflow enabled by Framer. If you send them a Word document that's vertical.
Today I'm going to show you the only 3 free AI video tools you actually need to create high-quality content, far above 99% of the AI slop flooding the internet. One of them lets you generate unlimited vertical videos and talking avatars, perfect for shorts, reels, and TikTok. Another one is built for horizontal videos, But the important part is that you can create and adjust the base image first, so the video does not start from a random guess. And the last one gives you free access to one of the most powerful AI video models available now. And the best part? We'll be able to use all of this completely free. But there is one catch. Each tool only works if you use the right setup. Open the wrong section, use the wrong order, and you end up with the same generic AI slop everyone else is posting. So we are starting with the tool I would use for vertical videos and avatars, TikTok Symphony. TikTok Symphony looks like a tool made for TikTok ads, but that is why it is useful. It is built around fast vertical content, presenters, products, and social videos. Open Symphony.
AI video has gotten a lot better over the past year. We've quickly gone from videos that looked glitchy and unrealistic to AI-generated videos that look almost like they were shot on a real camera. And it's gotten to the point where there isn't just one best AI video generator anymore. Different tools are pushing the limits in completely different ways. Hi, I'm Garrick, and in this video, in partnership with Zapier, I'm going to show you the best AI video generators in the categories of realism and stylized animation. And because most of the tools available out there use some form of paid credits or usage-based pricing, we're also going to look at a tool that lets you do a little more for free and help you decide which one is actually worth your time. Let's start with the category everyone cares about most, realism. Take a look at this. This wasn't shot on a camera. It was generated entirely with AI. When it comes to realism, some of the most impressive results right now are coming from tools like Google's Veo and Dream Machine from Luma Labs. Luma can generate impressive motion and dynamic or complex scenes with multiple elements moving at once, but in my experience, the results aren't always consistent. In this shot, for example, the camera and motion of the people and the elements in the background look pretty good, but the way the main subject is walking looks weird, like her feet aren't really touching the ground. In my testing, Veo currently has the edge, especially when it comes to consistency and cinematic camera movement. In this shot, pay attention to things like how the camera moves, how lighting stays consistent from frame to frame, and how natural the motion feels. That consistency is hard to get right, and Veo handles it better right now. And if you're already a Google AI Pro subscriber, which is Google's $20 a month plan that includes Gemini, you already have access to Veo as part of that. Bear in mind that I generated both of these clips with the exact same prompt, so you can see the difference pretty easily. So if your goal is footage that looks like it was shot in the real world, Veo is where I'd start. Now, as impressive as realism is, AI video can also go in a completely different direction with stylized and animated video. This is where things can really start getting interesting because while we all know what realism looks like, animation is much more subjective. So instead of asking, does this look real, what you should be looking for in animated video are things like how consistent the style is, how smooth and expressive the motion feels, and whether the overall look feels intentional as a creative choice or if it feels more like a limitation of the AI model. And for this category, two of the most popular tools right now are Pika and Runway. Now, both of these tools, like the other AI generators we're looking at, can also generate realistic AI videos, but they're also really strong when it comes to stylized output. The important thing to keep in mind is that different tools can interpret the exact same prompt in very different ways. For example, here's a video I generated in Pika. You can see this leans towards a more cinematic style, even though it's clearly animated. Notice the lighting, the reflections, and how the overall scene feels more like a stylized film instead of a traditional cartoon. So if you're looking for something that feels a bit more polished or cinematic right out of the box, Pika is a really strong option. Now, using that same prompt, here's what I got with Runway. You can see this version leans more into a traditional animated look with simpler shading, more exaggerated features, and a more cartoony feel. It's not better or worse output than Pika, it's just a different result. But where Runway really stands out isn't just the output, it's in the level of control it gives you. In addition to generating clips from prompts, Runway also gives you tools for adjusting things like camera movement, and you can also upload a video or still frame for it to start with to use as the basis of your generated video. Runway lets you shape the results a bit more, which can be really useful if you're working on something more polished or specific. So if you want something more cinematic right away, Pika is a great place to start. But if you want more control over the final result, Runway is a really strong option. Now, creating videos is one thing, but what if you could automate entire workflows around them? That's where Zapier comes in. Zapier actually connects directly to several of the tools we just looked at. Runway, Pika, and Veo through AI Studio all have native Zapier integrations. And for tools that don't have a built-in connector, you can use Zapier's webhooks to connect to any tool with an API. So what does that actually look like? Say you're working on a series of short animated videos. Maybe you've got a storyboard or a script in a Google Doc with scene descriptions. You could build a Zap that takes each scene description, sends it to Runway to generate the video clip, and saves the result to Google Drive, all automatically, scene by scene. Or say you've got a long list of blog posts that have performed well, and you want to convert each of them into short videos for social. You can set up a Zap that pulls the key points from the post, uses AI to turn them into video prompts, sends those prompts to Pika or Veo to generate clips, and drops the finished videos into a shared folder ready to go. And here's where it gets really interesting. If you use an AI assistant like ChatGPT or Claude, you can connect it to these video tools through Zapier MCP. That means you could tell your AI assistant something like, take the script and generate a video in Runway, and it would handle the whole thing, picking the right tool, generating the content, and organizing the output. To try Zapier for yourself, use the link in the description. Now, before we look at one more tool, it's worth quickly talking about pricing. Most of the AI video tools we've looked at so far do offer some kind of free tier, but they're usually pretty limited. You'll often run into things like credit limits, slower generation times, or restricted features unless you're on a paid plan. So while they're great for getting started, you'll likely hit those limits pretty quickly if you use them regularly. But let's look at one more tool that delivers impressive results, even with the free tier. One of the most popular and powerful tools you can try is Kling, which you can access at kling.ai.
Looking for a high-level way to bridge your team's technical talent gaps? I started scaling our platform build by plugging in vetted.
Like with all these tools, you do need to create an account, but it doesn't require a credit card, and your account gives you a limited number of free credits each day when you sign in to generate your content. Kling's output is comparable to the other tools we've looked at here, like Luma and Veo, especially for realistic video, and like those other tools, it can even generate video with dialogue built in. So for example, I'll enter a prompt for a short clip that says, a confident spokesperson standing in a modern, well-lit studio, speaking directly to the camera with natural facial expressions and subtle hand gestures. The camera slowly pushes in as they talk. The spokesperson says, this entire video was created using AI, and it's only going to get better from here. And you can see, even with the free tier, it gives you options to create multi-shot clips and to adjust the resolution, video ratio, and so on. When you click Generate,